since he's walked in the building. He's the same guy every day on and off the field, and I'm pumped to have him here for a long time.
Or are Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams the only guys not here?
Yes.
Again?
Yeah.
Were reasons given by either of those two as to why they're not here?
Trent's daughter's graduating today. Should be here tomorrow. And BA contract stuff.
Do you expect Christian, is he here right now?
Yeah, Christian's here.
Participate tomorrow or?
We didn't have him do anything today. I mean, he was out there working out, but we didn't put him in any reps, and I doubt we do tomorrow too.
I mean, you don't deal with all the negotiation stuff, but when it's players of this high profile, do you take a peek in there? Do you know, are you at all kind of monitoring these things?
I do to a certain time, and then I kind of check out of it. You know, when I don't have as much to do, players aren't in the building. It's kind of hard not to just check in and ask how it's going, but there's not that many updates. I mean, that stuff takes time and everything, but now, especially with guys in practices, mini camp, stuff I don't ask about at all.
Kyle, up to this point, when we've asked you about Brandon, you've said it's voluntary, and in similar situations the last 4 years, people in contract situations have been here for the mandatory minicamp. Does your view change on Brandon and his status with the team now that this is mandatory and he's not here?
No, to me, it doesn't change at all. I mean, you find out when guys are in those situations where they come or not, and some guys come because they want to avoid a fine, and some don't. But regardless, it doesn't change anything. When those guys have come, it's not like we know what the process is, we know what the business part is, and that's just how they decide how they want to handle this week.
Where's Diamador today?
He's out there. Yeah, we just kept him out of practice. Yeah, there's a couple guys we kept out. Just they've been here for a little bit and tightness and stuff.
Why is Ricky wearing the blue non-contact jersey?
Just like to single him out so you guys can find him. No, anytime. Yeah, he had a little soreness from a couple weeks ago, and when it's like that, we still want him in there, but it allows guys to avoid him as much as possible.
He's been prolific in the practices that we've watched. I mean, what is your early assessment on how he's doing?
I mean, I wouldn't say prolific, but maybe I don't understand that word very well. I think, yeah, he's doing a good job. I mean, he's got really good hands, so he always catches it. I mean, rarely he's going to have a drop. We're getting him a lot of reps. He's getting a lot of different routes, trying all the positions, and I've been really impressed with how he started off.
How do you see Logan Thomas fitting into this tight end group, and what do you expect from him?
I really wanted to just up the competition there with the group and get a guy in there who's had success in this league in the run and pass game, who's been on a few teams and done it before. We like our group and there's some competition there, but having the opportunity at this point in the season to be able to add a veteran like Logan with his skill set and be able to get him in here to come compete and him being ready for it was something we were kind of pumped to pull off at this time. And we're just going to have him watch this week because he just got here today, and we'll give him a chance to come in training camp and compete with those guys.
Want to expect to be ready for camp?
Yeah, he should be ready around camp.
Any setbacks?
No, there hasn't been.
There haven't.
It has not. Yeah.
We haven't talked to you since Jauan signed his contract. What does it mean to have him back out there and know that you have him here for the next couple of years?
I mean, you guys, I think everyone knows how much we love Jauan, just his style of play, just his personality, him in the building, and I mean, the way he plays on the field is just this example of everything you want. So he's been great for us here so far, and pumped that he's going to be around here a little bit longer.
Well, you've got the 3 veteran wideouts. You drafted one in the first round, drafted another one later. Maybe lost a couple blocking tight ends. Is it possible that you're looking maybe at go more 3 wides?
No, I don't think we have a change in philosophy on anything. You just name 5 receivers and you usually keep 6. Sometimes you can keep 5 and keep 3 on practice squad. So, I mean, that's kind of how the numbers work out. And we had a couple guys who had been here for a while that we lost in free agency. And you got to replace those guys. It won't be easy with Charlie and Dwelly, but we do have a group who've been here. That's also why, we anticipated that could happen. That's why you invest in guys like Latu and Braden the year before and hope that they get work so they're ready to take over that role. And that was tough on Latu, missing that whole year. But Braden got a lot of work because of it, and it gives him a better chance now to try to go in that spot with the guys he's going against.
What are you learning with the new kickoff rule in terms of, do you have any theories on, is a different skill set as a returner going to work? The ball today, where are you at on that?
I'm not sure totally on the returner. They're all so different. It's not like, the styles of kicks used to be the same. You wanted hang time as far as you could go. But now, are you getting that? Are you getting squib kicks? Are they bouncing? Do you want a shortstop who can just who can just get the ball off the ground clean? Do you want the typical guy who can just hit that seam? Do you want more of a punt returner who can be more at a dead stop and go side to side to find the crease? So if there was one style of kickoff, I think we could come up with that, but I think they're all going to kind of be different. So I think it's going to be all types of players. I do think when you eliminate the space and everything that it'll probably be more big guys and stuff up front on both sides.
How excited are you that Purdy and Pearsall seem to already have a little bit of a on-field connection, and it looks like they've repped it?
It's been fun to watch both of them. I mean, I know, Brock doesn't always get to watch how the route gets there, but he knows when guys end up in the right spot and they catch it. That's where quarterbacks get comfortable, and I think you can feel that with Ricky right away. I mean, he's been getting to the right spot, and when he has made mistakes, he understands it and corrects it, and I think that's why those guys are going to have a lot of fun working together.
We talked about possibly changing the schedule of the offseason, with maybe coming back earlier in July and not doing some of the spring stuff. Do you have an opinion on what would be good or bad about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think eliminating an off season so you can have a 7-week training camp isn't the best idea to me. I mean, they used to do that, but they did 7 weeks because people didn't make as much money, and in the off season they had other jobs, so they had to leave whatever jobs they were doing, and they didn't work out in the off season, so you had to go to like a 7-week training camp to get guys back in football shape, which took a while, and nothing's worse than a 7-week training camp, even as a young ball boy, and so I don't totally like that. I also like the idea of, I just believe that when you end a long season, you need to get away. But you don't just get better in that training camp right before the season. Like I liked spring ball in college for myself as a player. That was the last time I played. But I felt like in spring ball you could go and improve on stuff. And sometimes you look bad in it, sometimes you look good, but there was things you worked on, and then everyone got away. And then you had 2 months or a month, whatever that summer is, to gain on those people and to go work out and get in shape. And yeah, I just worked on football in an off season that was provided because I can't go play in the Olympics or the YMCA or anything like other sports, or a batting cage and things like that. And then now I have this month to gain ground on guys where you don't if you take that away. And I also think it's tough because when you do get guys, like right now we're in decent shape, guys will go away for 40 days. They'll come back. But that's also, we have so much science on that. I can't tell you guys how much we've altered our program over the last 7 years. What we do on day 1 to day 2 to day 3 to the first off day to the reps on day 1 to day 2 before preseason game and after. So that's why the soft tissue injuries do get better. But if you don't do anything as a professional athlete for those 40 days away without us watching you, you might pull a hamstring. We're going to do everything we can to protect that. But if not, and you're still pulling them, like us making you come a month earlier might help that person. But I also think anyone who doesn't know how to work out and they're 40 days away, you're not going to make it in this league very long anyways. So it's not too bad to weed 5 of those guys out.
Why is it not so important for the veteran leaders?
How did you know I was done? You just been holding your breath that long?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Why is it not so important for the veteran leaders to participate in these practices? Is it because you're installing things that they already know?
No, it's that, I mean, you want all guys to work and stuff, but like, and I don't think anything hurts people, but you can get hurt anytime, whether it's here, whether it's anywhere else. But when guys haven't been here through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, just to throw them out there and that stuff, we're not going to risk that. And when I think of the risk reward on that, I'm definitely not going to risk it, because no matter what happens today or tomorrow, no matter what happens, we are going to get away and we're going to come back for 40 days. So you hope guys learn from these moments and stuff, and that does apply to what you do later, what you do while you're away. You stack days and you get better. But to think what someone does exactly on a rep or something is going to change their body in a month from now, that's different. And we got guys learning formations, cadences, how to come off the ball, how to run, how to move together. And guys are all over the place. And they're going to get away, and most of them will go work on it on their own and study it, watch tape, know how they're training now. And when they come back and we do the exact same things in training camp, a little with more pads and stuff, they'll actually have a chance to know what's going on and hopefully make a team instead of a practice squad.
A couple more.
Christian's obviously not an old guy, even an old player, but we know that position can age fast or get closer to 30, and be replaceable. We know what the salary's been like. What is it about Christian in your mind tells you that as he gets, this could take him to his 30s, 31, that he's still going to be this valuable that long from now?
Well, the running back market is different than everything. So I think that we feel very good with where we're at with that with Christian, especially. I think it's contractually, I think it's 4 more years. But when you look at Christian just as an individual, like, I'm not going to compare him to anybody else. Christian is one of the more talented people I've ever been in my life. But if I didn't speak about that, I'd say he's almost the biggest overachiever I've been in my life. It's been around in my life in terms of how obsessive he is with every little thing, and just, you guys have heard us talk about him, but that's where he's extremely unique. And I mean, as you get older with age, you lose a step or something. That's not what makes Christian great. It's how he is the same player down in and down out. And yeah, it's great to have all the talent that he does have, and he takes care of his body as good as anyone. So you don't picture him losing any of that because of a number. But if that stuff does happen, Christian's always going to be a good football player until he decides not to be. And we're not really concerned with that at all with his type of personality.
What do you think of the state? But how much does the front office come to you and say, we need this player, if we're going to give him this contract, we need this player to be good for 3 more years? Or will it be 2 more years? Does it get that specific in conversations with you?
I mean, just like reporters, everyone tries to get that specific, but only God knows that question. So you gotta evaluate everything, and you think of things, and you think of your history, you think of the history of whatever numbers you want to read, you think of how your roster is, where it's going to be, and then you think of the individual, and then you try to figure it all out what's best. But there's not, like I like to say, we don't think in absolutes in anything we do. So I mean, we're never going to say, hey, we don't do this at this age, or we don't do this for this position. Each individual is unique, and I think Christian as much of that as anyone I've been around.
What do you think of the state of the wide receiver market? It seems like it's exploding unlike any other position.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. We've seen it with quarterbacks. You're seeing it right now with wideouts. It's happened with D linemen. It's part of it.
Tarvarius was working on the sideline. Is he on the same time frame as George is to come back?
Yeah, they're both coming back from the core surgery, I think. They'll both be back at training camp.
Looking forward towards him, he's also set to be a free agent coming up. Is that something that you are emphasizing going forward, him and Diamador?
Yes, definitely. There's not many guys on our team that I would say there isn't any who are going to be free agents that we don't want around here. We've got some good players. We've built a good roster. And you can't keep everybody around. But, I mean, the guys that you're asking about, they're as much on our mind as anyone.
CMC had 339 touches last year. What do you think of that usage? And this year, do you see that number going up, or you think it's more likely to go down?
I mean, I don't think it always needs to be that case with all the runs. Like we got guys that can run the ball and stuff. We got to protect Christian from himself. He doesn't like to ever come out, no matter what the situation is. And I do think that's something we could protect him with more. When you are such a threat in the pass game, it's a little bit different, and that's when you get touches from a running back. A lot of times you're the last choice, just everyone's deep and you throw it to a check down. So like halfbacks can get 6 targets in a game without one play called for them, just because they're on check downs a lot. And so how do we feel about those touches? Man, I'm glad he was out there for that check down. That means no one's around and he's getting up the field and he's as good of a threat on a check down as there can be. But if he's just taking the wear and tear with 20 carries and stuff every game, and he's definitely good enough to do that, and he's proved he can stay healthy, but you'd like to take some of that off of him and give it to other guys also.
You guys finalized plans to practice against the Saints down at UC Irvine?
Yes.
Any pause to it's basically now 3 road games. That's a home game week. What were your thoughts on playing the 2 road games and then practicing on the road when you have a home game?
Just that I like practicing. It's more important to me to practice against someone to even play the preseason game. I think it's better for your team. So I wanted to make sure we got one out of that. I didn't want to do it the last week, just with it being so close and that we plan on playing our guys more in that game. And then I also don't like bringing teams here because we don't have as much land. We have 2 fields, and you kind of need a 3rd field. And so I don't like how tight it is and stuff. It's just too tight out there, and it kind of messes our grass up for so long. So it's better when you go to a place that has 3, sometimes 4, even 5 fields.
It'd be the same day off before the day before the game, and then the practice is 2 days out.
Yeah.
For scrimmages in Nashville?
We actually wanted it, but because of the travel and stuff, we'd have to go out too early, and then it would be an issue. I would love to scrimmage versus them, but because we're going on the road for the next week in our home game, then it's going to end up feeling like we truly are on the road that long. So we'll just go to Nashville the day before the game and come back the next day.
Have you talked to Jed, asked him to get his act together about the field situation?
No, that's I better not say it. Jed's on that stuff, but I have an idea, but nobody wants to hear it. All right, guys.